They say getting old in America means fading into the background, but they're wrong. The truth is, growing older isn't about giving up. It's about waking up to a whole new version of life that nobody warned you about. So, what's it really like to grow old here? Not just the sunny commercials with happy gray-haired couples walking on beaches, but the real unfiltered experience, from the aches that sneak up on you to the joys you never expected. Let's talk about it, because whether you're 60 or 90, you're not invisible. You're still here, still living, and you deserve a voice in what aging really feels like, what it means, in a world that often tries to move too fast and forget too quickly. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at what it's actually like to grow old in America today, from loneliness and loss to freedom and finding new purpose. And we're going to talk about how to not just survive, but thrive in this chapter of life. So let's begin right at the heart of it, the moment you realize life has changed, but you're still trying to catch up to what that change means. You wake up one morning and things feel different, not just physically, though the knees might argue otherwise. It's quiet in a way you didn't expect. Maybe the house is emptier. Maybe your phone doesn't ring as much. Or maybe it rings too much, but it's all robocalls and prescription refills. No one really prepares you for the emotional landscape of aging. There's this myth that as we grow older, we just get wiser and more peaceful. And while there's some truth to that, it also leaves out a big part of the picture, like the feeling that you're slowly being left behind. Friends move, people pass away, your children have busy lives. Suddenly, you're sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee, and it hits you, this isn't what I pictured. That feeling, that slow, creeping realization, that's real, it's common, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. But here's the thing, it's not the end of your story. It might just be the beginning of something new. One of the hardest parts of growing old in America isn't the physical stuff, it's the shift in how the world treats you. You start noticing people talk to you slower or louder, like you can't keep up. Clerks call you sweetie or hon, like you're fragile or confused. It can feel patronizing, like you're being tucked away on some mental shelf labeled used to be. But let me tell you something, you are not your wrinkles, you are not your prescription list, and you are definitely not invisible. One woman I spoke with, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher, told me she started wearing bright red lipstick every time she left the house. Not because she was trying to impress anyone, but because she said, if I'm going to be ignored, I'm going to be ignored in color. And I love that, because aging with pride isn't about pretending you're 30 again. It's about saying, yes, I've lived, and I've got the stories to prove it. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest emotional shifts that comes with growing older, loss. Not just of people, but of identity. When you retire, for example, you're no longer the teacher or the nurse or the manager. You're just home. And for many, that shift can leave a hole. Your routine disappears. Your sense of usefulness, that can get cloudy too. But here's the flip side. And yes, there is one. This is also the first time in your life where your time is truly yours. You're not working to survive anymore. You're waking up to live. The hard part is learning how to live for yourself. That's not selfish. That's necessary. One retired mechanic I met decided to take up with carving at 68. Never done it before in his life. Said he needed something to keep his hands moving and his heart still. Now he sells little carvings at the farmer's market every Saturday, and he told me, for the first time, I feel seen again. See, there's something powerful that happens when you rediscover purpose. It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to start a business or travel the world. Maybe it's volunteering at the local library, helping out at your church, or babysitting your grandkids once a week. Purpose doesn't need a paycheck. It just needs a heartbeat. And speaking of heartbeats, let's not forget relationships. That's another part of aging that people don't always talk about honestly. Friendships change. Some friends become distant, others pass on, and building new connections at this stage, it can feel awkward, like dating in middle school, but with more joint pain. But it's worth it. You don't need a dozen new best friends. One good person to laugh with, to share stories with, that can carry you through more than you realize. Maybe it's someone from your senior center, maybe a neighbor. Maybe it's someone you meet at the coffee shop after sitting at the same corner table 3 mornings in a row. You'd be surprised what happens when you smile first, when you ask the person next to you how their day is going, when you show up, even when it's easy to stay in. There's a kind of bravery in staying connected, in letting yourself be known. So If you're feeling a little lost in this chapter, if things don't look the way you imagined they would at this age, please know that's okay. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. It means your story isn't over. In fact, it's still being written. And guess what? You still got the pen in your hand. And the beauty of still holding that pen, you get to decide what the next chapter looks like, even if the world doesn't hand you a map. Let's talk about something else many seniors feel, but don't always say out loud: slowness. Everything around you is moving so fast now. Technology, conversations, even the grocery store checkout lines. Sometimes it feels like the world is sprinting while you're just trying to tie your shoes. And that's frustrating, because maybe your mind is still sharp, but your body's not cooperating the way it used to. Or maybe your memory slips a little, just enough to make you second guess whether you already told someone that story. You are not alone in that. The truth is, we weren't built to keep up with every new gadget or slang word or app. And frankly, we don't need to. The goal isn't to be 25 again. It's to be the best version of yourself now. If that means taking your time, asking for help when you need it, or saying, "No thank you, I don't want a smartwatch," then that's perfectly okay. But here's something else that's not talked about enough: confidence. Not the kind you had when you were 40, juggling kids and a job and feeling like a superhero. I'm talking about the quiet kind. The kind that comes from experience, from knowing who you are and what matters, from surviving things that would have flattened a younger version of you. Growing old in America can make you feel like you're losing value, but you're not. You're gaining perspective, the kind younger generations desperately need, but often forget to ask for. So share your stories, share your wisdom, not because you have to, but because someone out there needs to hear it. Your memories, your life lessons, your humor, it all matters. There's an older gentleman who lives down the street from me, late 80s, walks every morning with a little limp and a big smile. He carries dog treats in his coat pocket, even though he doesn't have a dog. When I asked him why, he said, "Because everybody likes to feel seen, even the dogs." That stuck with me. See, being seen, being acknowledged, is something we all crave, no matter our age. But as we get older, we sometimes stop expecting it. We settle into the background. And while solitude can be peaceful, too much of it can start to feel like loneliness dressed in disguise. That's where community becomes powerful. And no, I don't mean you have to join every club or group, but don't underestimate the magic of showing up. A weekly bingo night, a garden club, a morning walking group, even just sitting on your porch and waving to your neighbors. Connection is a lifeline, not just socially, but emotionally. You might not need deep conversations every day, but having people around, people who remember your name, who notice when you're not there, that matters more than most folks realize. And don't worry if you feel awkward jumping into new places at first. Everyone feels that way. It's like joining a new church or starting a new job. But with creaky knees and a few more doctor's appointments, you're still allowed to be new at things. You're still allowed to try. That's another thing growing older can give you if you let it. Freedom to do what you want, not what others expect, not what your younger self planned, but what your current self craves. Want to pick up painting at 70? Do it. Want to learn how to play piano, even if your fingers don't move as fast? Go for it. Want to take salsa lessons, or write poetry, or sit on the beach and do absolutely nothing? You've earned it. We spend so much of our lives chasing things: careers, kids, goals, money. Then now, that doesn't mean anything is seriously wrong. But understanding the full picture can help you get the right support, whether it's medication, a change in your current treatment plan, or even just some reassurance that you're on the right track. A lot of us were raised in a time when you didn't go to the doctor unless something was really wrong. But now, after 60, your body deserves more attention, not less. Catching small issues early can make all the difference in staying independent, active, and in control of your daily life. So don't wait until things get worse. A quick conversation could point you in a direction that saves you a lot of discomfort and a lot of lost sleep. And while we're on the topic of taking control, let me remind you of something important. This isn't about fighting aging. It's about working with your body with kindness, patience, and care. Getting up to use the bathroom doesn't make you weak, but choosing to understand it and taking steps to improve it, that's strength, that's wisdom. That's what the stage of life is all about. See, your 60s and 70s can actually be one of the most empowering times of your life. You've got experience, you've got perspective, and now with a few small changes, you can have your full nights of sleep back too. Not just because it feels good, but because it helps you show up for the things that really matter. Your grandkids, your hobbies, your partner, your peace. Imagine waking up at 7 a.m. and realizing you didn't have to get out of bed once during the night. Imagine making coffee, feeling rested, clear-headed, and steady on your feet. Imagine what your day feels like with that kind of energy. That's what we're aiming for, and it's absolutely possible. So whether it's pelvic floor exercises, smarter food choices, or managing stress in new ways, all of this adds up. No one change works for everyone, but when you take the time to find what works for you, you're investing in something priceless: your comfort, your rest, and your freedom. And hey, don't be afraid to keep track of your progress. A little notebook by the bed can go a long way. Note how often you're waking up, what time you stopped drinking fluids, or what you ate that evening. Over a week or two, you'll start seeing patterns. And once you can see those patterns, you can start to break them and build new ones that support your health and your sleep. Because here's the thing, life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about living smarter. And sleeping through the night is a big part of that. You've already come so far, tuning into your body, making small shifts in your habits, and beginning to understand that better sleep isn't a luxury. It's a basic need, and it's within reach. Now, we've talked about fluid timing, caffeine and alcohol, salt, constipation, leg elevation, stress, pelvic floor strength, and even medical check-ins. But before we finish, there's one last piece to this puzzle that often gets overlooked: your evening routine. Not the part where you brush your teeth and put on pajamas, though that matters too, but what you do in the hour or so before that. Because believe it or not, what your body and brain experience leading up to bedtime can make or break your sleep and your bladder's behavior through the night. If your evenings are filled with stimulation, bright lights, loud TV, stressful news, or scrolling through a glowing phone screen, your nervous system stays revved up. And when your nervous system is activated, it doesn't just make it harder to fall asleep. It also tells your bladder, hey, stay alert too. That's not the message we want. So start winding down earlier. Dim the lights. Turn off the screens. Replace the late night news with soft music or an uplifting audiobook. Even just sitting quietly with a cup of warm, non-caffeinated tea can send a powerful signal to your body. It's time to rest. You're not just calming your mind. You're gently telling your bladder, you can relax now. This wind down time might feel unfamiliar at first, maybe even a little boring, but over time, it becomes something to look forward to, a chance to reflect, to be still, and to treat yourself with care. And that calm doesn't just help you fall asleep, it helps you stay asleep. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Staying active during the day can also help you sleep better at night and reduce those bathroom trips while you're at it. You might be thinking, wait a minute, what does my daytime movement have to do with my nighttime bladder? Quite a bit, actually. Gentle physical activity helps regulate your metabolism, supports your circulation, and encourages your body to process fluids more efficiently. It also helps your digestive system, boosts your mood, and improves your overall sleep quality. You don't have to train for a marathon. A 20-minute walk after breakfast, a bit of light gardening, stretching while watching your favorite afternoon show. It all adds up. The goal isn't intensity, it's consistency. Move a little every day, and you'll notice your nights get a little smoother too. And if you've been feeling frustrated, maybe even discouraged by the way your sleep has been disrupted, I want to tell you something important. It's not your fault. You're not just getting old. You're not broken. You're not destined to toss and turn every night. What you're dealing with is incredibly common, and there are solutions. What matters most is that you care, that you're curious, that you're willing to take small, steady steps toward better sleep and better health. That willingness is powerful. It's how change happens. Because here's what I know for sure. When your nights improve, your days come alive again. You feel clearer, more stable on your feet. You laugh more. You think better. Your energy rises. Your outlook shifts. And the best part? These changes don't require a miracle cure. They come from understanding your body, honoring its needs, and making gentle, daily choices that support your well-being. So as you close this video, I hope you feel more hopeful and more in control. Whether you start with changing your drinking schedule, adding leg elevation, trying pelvic floor exercises, or simply setting aside time each night to slow down, just start. Pick one small thing and build from there. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. You deserve restful sleep, You deserve calm nights and energized mornings. You deserve to feel good in your body again. If any of what we talked about today resonated with you, or if you've discovered a trick of your own that's helped, you're more than welcome to share in the comments. There's a whole community of people who would benefit from hearing your experience. You never know who you might help just by speaking up. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. It helps more people find this kind of information. If you'd like more practical tips like this, especially for life after 60, make sure to subscribe. We're building a space where health, happiness, and wisdom come together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Here's to fewer bathroom trips, deeper sleep, and brighter mornings. Here's to living your best life at any age.